and we'll be on two platforms, which will be great. One's audio may be a lot better than the other, considering the iPhone Pro Max is quite an improvement from the laptop setup. But we're going to just check here and see if we are actually streaming. Once we have that, we will take off on the journey of the Disciple3d update. Okay, well, shoot. That did not do what I expected. So let's go to another browser. URL. That may not have copied what I thought it copied. It did not. So just 1 second here. Up, 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 Popping in here, going to the channel, your channel, live. Just making sure that I'm showing up because it's always a little disheartening to spend the time doing the update and then you realize, hey, I didn't actually broadcast. So it's what a stinker. Um, Sorry for the delay. I'm actually at home today, and this kind of a test to see if. Oh, hey, I believe we are live. In which case, I'll just check in to make sure we are going, and then get off of that because I'm preserving that precious, precious bandwidth. I didn't actually. We are. All right, I get off of that. Cool. So, what's going on, guys? I am back again, like I never left. But actually, I just a little quick life update. Went off to the beach for I guess, yeah, 5 night, 4 day getaway was the plan. That turned into 7 days because just as we were about to wrap up our vacation, my mom fell ill. Had to take her into the hospital there, and she ended up staying 4 days on the courtesy of Grand Strand Medical Center. Big up to those folks because they did a great job, and it's literally the busiest hospital that I've ever witnessed, ever. And it it was quite the shocker, but I guess not all that unexpected. She's had some complications since having had COVID about 2 months ago, and caused her to need supplemental oxygen. And that kind of conflicted with some of her pain meds from an accident many years ago, and eventually created a situation where she wasn't expelling enough CO2. So she became loopy and really, really loopy to the point of trying to get out of the car while it was moving and stuff like that. So it was pretty shocking. Of course, nobody wants to see their loved one go through that, but I had to come back. So we left her there, and I drove back Sunday night and worked a full day. I think I had 6 massage clients on uh, Monday, and as soon as I finished the last one, I jumped back in the car, went back down there, and then of course Tuesday started hanging out with her and just waiting to see what was going to happen. It looked like maybe she would get out. Truck going by. Sorry about that. We're out of doors right now because the weather in Albemarle right now is absolutely perfect. It feels like it's about 68 degrees and the sun is shining. It's absolutely beautiful. So kind of like the whole week of being, kind of stuck down there a little bit longer than I wanted to be in some really nice accommodations. Thanks to our friends who set us up with that. But still, I really, really wanted to be home. After about 4 days, I get a little homesick, and this is typical anywhere I go, and I'm eager to be home. So you can imagine in 7 days. But anyway, having made that trip 4 times now, I'm done with that drive for a little bit, hopefully. But when I get under pressure like this, creativity sometimes hits me. I don't know. It's like my internal mechanism to counter depression, as I feel creative, and I did. I actually wrote 2 songs. Um, One right before I left, and then one kind of in transit. And I came back when we got back last night, and we were taking my granddaughter Delilah in and sort of cleaning up their house and bringing their stuff in. I sat down at my mom's chicken piano, which is a lovely console piano, and actually pecked out the one that I had kind of co-written and put chords to it. So it was really exciting. And as always, I try to take advantage of those moments where I really feel creative because the wellspring is not the same as it was when I was 25, and I'm 52 now. I'll be 53 this year. So I feel like those moments, you really have to take advantage of them. And even like trying to be back on the workout thing, which I'm trying to get back to. Apart from the vacation, I've been doing 5 workouts a week, and I'm trying to increase that and really focus on getting back into some kind of shape I hope you can see that in my face. I've actually taken the beard off, and I think it does look like I've lost a few pounds. But of course, you're more acutely aware of any kind of facial fat when you shave. But I haven't shaved that beard in, gosh, I guess probably about a year. Man, years go by so fast now. And I have some plans with the new collaboration I'm working with. I now have a band, a real band of guys, at least three visionaries, and then four-piece band, at least three writers and producers, and that's pretty awesome combination. And it's funny because when I met the guy that's the bass player now, I immediately clicked with him and I thought this dude could be the guy. I'm always looking for that like final member, final piece, but certainly my collaboration with Harrison's been going on now for, gosh, I guess close to a year, and it's been incredible. And this is just kind of goes from strength to strength that builds on that. And if you're if you're this good and you play with a guy this good, and together you're you level up. And I'm always looking to play with people better than me because that's what that does is it brings you up. Say in the same way, much in the same way that I try to hang out with online people, that developers, and make friends with developers to just kind of learn the trade and whatnot with CG stuff. And mostly it's just something I do because it makes me happy. That said, when I make certain products and they flop, I don't go that route again. And when I make other products and they do well, I tend to kind of lean toward that route. Now, I had some pretty good sales at Dad's with my early HDRI environments, but like anything else, when it becomes popular, tons of people glom on, and they may or may not do it better than you, but they may have more popularity on that platform. And I mean, certainly, I'm not saying there aren't people that do it better than me because there definitely are. But some of those folks saw it as an easy buck, and I think as I looked into it, there's little telltale signs that some of them are using like a 360 camera to create them, and you can make decent ones. I mean, Dreamlight's an example. I know for a fact, based on his tutorial, that he's been using that. I mean, he may also use a camera. I know he's a professional photographer, and I think his stuff looks great. So I'm not critiquing it on quality, but just I know the work that it takes me to do it with. And I started out doing it with the 360 camera, but I felt like the resolution was too small, and that's a bit of a confusing path. Uh, Higher resolution is not always better. It just depends on how you're using the HDRI. If you're using it to have a highly detailed background, I mean, actually, the best thing to do is to set up your scene, go out and take a photo, and just put it on a flat plane. Just apply it to a flat plane, and you're going to have the most detail. And then you can control how the depth of field works with that camera and make it look exactly like you want. In the real world, obviously things behind the subject get blurred out the further you get away. And if it's going to be blurred anyway, I don't know why you would need 18K. I do provide 18K in some of my HDRIs, but then you start dealing with huge file sizes, having multiple resolutions, increases the amount of work, and the payoff may or may not be sufficient for that. So I recently discovered that even though they had been restricting me to a ludicrously low 100 megabytes per zip file, which really created a problem trying to make high res HDRIs. I found another artist on there that had just been using full size ones and just putting a little disclaimer. And I asked about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, you can do that. You just have to put a disclaimer." And I'm like, "Why have you been telling me the multiple times that I've asked for an exception that there could be no exceptions?" I guess it was just one person in the store. That's what they had been told. They didn't know about the exception process or whatever. And really, the exception process is that you just have to state it's larger files, and you may have some trouble downloading them if you're on a very slow connection. Problem solved. So that not only informs the quality of my HDRI sets and how high the resolution can be, but it also means with these videos, when I actually make a tutorial video, it can be a high resolution. Yay! Because that has really been vexing me for a long time, having to upload to certain sites and re-download to get a compressed, higher level compression than I can do, and getting it down under 100 megabytes. It's just what a bunch of crap. So that now is released. So that said, I've got a product on Renderosity which has met its threshold to get another version, another installment for the first time, and it's how to build poses um, series that I've done. So I've done three of those now, and the third one just crossed the threshold to do a fourth one. So I beg the question, I've pretty much already shown the specifics of how to create poses, how to save poses, sidestep some of the problems with saving poses, how they're supposed to load in the location wise, not go all over the map, but like stay at 0, 0 um, in 3D space. So what can I do? Where can I go from that? And one thing that I'm always trying to do is look at the market and ask myself, who is the best out there? Who is doing the work that I look at and go, wow, I mean, yeah, I could build that, but for 13.95, I'll go buy that. And I gotta say, there's one person. There's some really good pose makers, a lot of good pose makers actually on DAS. There's one that stands out to me, and that's Zeticus. Lord, those poses and just products, combination of poses and props and products, very, very high level. So I thought as a new tutorial, I could cover how to deconstruct a product that you really like and then make your own version of it, or just build something like it yourself and ask yourself the important questions: why is this better than what I would have built, naturally, and thereby in the process become better at creating whatever, right? um, I know for me, I have messed around a lot of times over the years using this GuestCon plugin, all kinds of different things to let me model in DAZ Studio, mainly because I know the interface of DAZ Studio intimately, and I it's easy. I don't have to look for tools, right? When I go into something like Blender, which is an amazing free software, I don't have that fluency of tools, but of course the functionality is far, far greater. I've focused on things like Polycam 3D scanning objects, but I never made it as far as pulling it in ZBrush and redoing the topology and actually producing a product. So that's one of the things I want to do for sure. Boning up on Blender just to make basic structures to use with post packs like chairs and whatnot, doors. That's something I definitely want to get into in the future, in the near future. And the granddaughter is going to be 3 here in July. As she gets on around 5, she's going to have time in school every day that I could allot to training. And down the road, I definitely see that as something I want to do. Blender is such an amazing product. I want to get deeper into it. And again, it's all for my own edification and fun. If I sell a few things along the way, that's great, but it's a great stress reliever for me, even making these videos, just having some little distraction for the day, and the rest of the day I'll be running around with a 2.5-year-old at the park, and you know, just playing, making videos of her. Which, by the way, if you guys are interested, I do produce about 30 minutes of content at a minimum of her on the weekly on my website, brentbowers.com. You can check that out. It kind of auto loads as the front page, and it's basically my weekly video vlog. And occasionally, when things are active like it was this past week. I think I produced 6 videos this past week. Normally it's just one, but check it out. You can see what it's like at North Myrtle Beach in such a beautiful time of the off season. We actually arrived on a day that had a foggy beach. I've never been on a foggy beach, and that was super, super cool. Did some amazing slow motion photography. I now have the iPhone 13 Pro Max, which I recommend highly. The cinematic mode on this camera is a game changer. It does a better job with slow motion. Um, you can edit videos that have accidentally been shot vertically. You can edit those to make them horizontal. There's so many features that are added in. I actually was not going to do it, but my 12 Pro Max got thrown in the pool, and once that happens, it closes the lightning port, and I had to use the pad to charge it. Other than that, the water didn't bother it, but there's a mechanism to save the internals that closes that. And as a result, I couldn't fly my drone with it and all this other, so I went ahead and made the upgrade. Plus, my son was looking for a new phone. It was time for him to upgrade as well, so I just knocked that out. And so far, I got to say, significant upgrade. Okay, leaping way ahead to perhaps May. Um, I've been invited to come back to a project that I co-directed, a film project that I co-directed in a town about an hour and a half from here. Um, I was asked to come back as crew. I don't think I'm going to do the crew thing, but I did offer to do the behind the scenes. If I do the behind the scenes, one of the things I would like to do is take the main characters of the project and use a combination of FaceGen and ZBrush and create, you know, DAZ Studio characters, or as we say back in the day, poser characters, even though we're not using poser. You know, that's something I think would be really fun, and I could use that to make some custom graphics. And I would use this phone and the little stand that I have it on a tripod, and maybe one supplemental light and a additional microphone with a what they call a dead cat, the little furry thing to prevent the wind. And I would try to shoot the whole thing out of my laptop case with my iPhone 13 Pro Max because I think it looks amazing, and um, it's all in your pocket. So Very cool. If I get to do that, that'd be a weekend. So hopefully it's gonna fall on a weekend where I have the weekend off and can take off and go up there and do it because it would be like a weekend trip. But anyway, I digress. Looks like Kent has commented on my post on Facebook. I don't know if that's my live stream or not. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys, and hopefully the stream wasn't too terrible today. Um, I'll try this again from various locations. I did get a new HP laptop, more for developmental work, but it seems to be doing fine with the stream, and we'll just see. The camera's not nearly as nice as my iPhone camera, but we'll see how it goes. And you guys let me know and reach out and send messages for things you might want me to create, and I'll definitely take it under advisement. But for now, I hope you guys are all enjoying this beautiful spring day, and we'll see you next time on Disciple 3D Update. So, gotta put my costume back on since I gotta go out of Superman mode, back to Clark Kent mode.